very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you who are gathered here today to be part of the Anti-Corruption and Integrity Forum 2019. I am Azhanni Muhammad and it is my pleasure to be the moderator for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the uproar of corruption in our country in the past few years, many are concerned and have begun to question the level of integrity in the organizations in our country, especially in the public sector. Therefore, our objective with our time today is to share some of the efforts and commitment of the Malaysian government in the fight against corruption to portray a positive image of Malaysia as a country which strongly upholds the rule of law, integrity and accountability. As you can see, I'm very honored to be seated among these prominent panelists who will be discussing on the topic Embedding Integrity, the cornerstone of good governance. So before we start the forum for today, allow me to introduce our panelists for today. Right? On my far right here, we have YBhg Datuk Hj.Talip Zulpilip, Minister in the Sarawak Chief Minister's Department under Integrity and Ombudsman. YBhg Datuk, who is also a member of the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly, has served in the public service for many years and has held many prominent positions throughout his service. He has also gained considerable experience serving on the boards of government agencies and public listed companies such as Malaysian Industrial Development Authority and Cahaya Mata Sarawak Berhad. Thank you, YBhg Datuk, for taking the time to be here with us today. So next to me, who is actually right now sitting in the middle of the stage, is Puan Saim, who is currently Acting CEO of Malaysian Institute of Integrity, or some of you would call it just Integrity. Okay. And as Acting CEO, her core responsibilities involve operating the organization from a strategic level and supporting the integrity and anti-corruption initiatives in line with the Government of Malaysia, which is the National Anti-Corruption Plan, also called as NACP 2019. So thank you, Puan Nurafiza. I'm glad to have another female on the stage with me today. Okay, now without further ado, perhaps we can begin our forum today to get as a general perspective, from your perspective, from the state government, from the national perspective, what do you mean or what is integrity? Embedding integrity in the organization.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, morning all. I think we have been too serious. Let's put a bit of smile on our face. You know, okay, I'm smiling now, I always smile. Because I think the world is funny. And I got grandchildren, two are very funny, they always make me laugh. Now, back to the serious business. Okay, we were, at least my group was told about embedding integrity, part of governance. That's a serious subject, but let's go back. You know where things are wrong. We always talk things are good. Well, there are a lot of things wrong with integrity and governance in the country. So, I wouldn't go into too many formalities. Those who deal with integrity and governance don't bother with all the formalities. They go straight and do the job. Now, where are we now? Integrity situation in this country is not good enough. That's why we have all these problems. And corporate governance is lousy. Sorry, I forgot to put it. Okay, let us start with a simple question. Where are we? Yes, we have made some efforts. like setting up integrity and governance mechanisms. Lest we forget, integrity and corporate governance mechanism have been there. For those of you as ancient as me, you can look from my face, I'm not exactly young, cucu dah keliling pinggang. When I first joined the civil service, we learned general order, we learned treasury instruction. General order said, don't live beyond your means. If the head of department catches you having 2 cars, 3 mistresses, siasat. Now, heads of department, 5 kali 2. You know, there was an old civil servant. Since only 2 of us stand up, I think we take advantage, boleh. There was an old civil servant in Sarawak. Orang bagi dia buah kelapa. Dia hantar ke treasury. Because dalam general order, you're not supposed to receive gift. So he sent to treasury. Dia hantar. In those days, it took 2 days by boat. He sent it. He followed the general order. Luckily, people didn't give him ikan terubuk. Kalau bagi ikan terubuk tu, treasury officers will say, please don't send terubuk. You see, they comply. Do we have the same standard? Kadang-kadang pegawai kerajaan just pun minta duit, they're not caught. But anyhow, before I rattle on, let's see what people say. How do we achieve what we want? Apa? Kenapa? See, I've been around. I want you to focus on those 2 pictures. I have different models in the past, but I thought for this paper, we want to create organizations that are productive. Now, what do? We want efficient civil service. We talk about it. That's a good start. But are we doing it? Now, as I mentioned, we want to embed integrity, the cornerstone of good governance. I would ask the same question. Are we doing it? Are we doing it seriously? You know, we set up integrity committee years ago under Tan Sri Bernard Dopo. He doesn't know me actually, but I know him. You know what? They have meetings. Many heads of department don't bother to turn up. KSU, DGs, they don't turn up. Beri malu. What's the point of having that committee? What's the point of having integrity institute unless people are told, do it? Do we have the culture of enforcement? You ask yourself, kalau saya cakap nanti orang tua ni mengada-ngada. Are we serious about enforcement? In the end, after 2 years, Tan Sri Bernard Dopo resigned. I admire him. Rather than put up with the nonsense of a civil servant, resign. Okay. Okay, let us go a bit deeper. This is, I didn't say, there are smarter people, those of you who did economics. This is what Adam Smith said. Economic development would follow if government provided law, honesty, peace, and easy taxes. Next one, Freshman actually quoted, oh, by the way, you found Kinderberger in your second year economics, if you are my generation. Your new generation, you don't know him because he's gone. That's what I said. Law, honesty, peace, and easy taxes. Do we have the right law? Do we enforce the law? Do we have the honesty? Adalah, the honest people. I've come across good, honest people. But is it the general standard? I'm posing questions. Okay, 300 years later, under governance, okay, this is what IMF said. I didn't say it. They're cleverer rather than me. Now, World Bank said the same thing. Asian Development Bank said a different way, but report the same thing. But let's look at this. Next one. We are not doing it. Okay? And now, this is a bit disturbing. Corporate collapses where CEOs are involved, inclusion with 70%, are we having that problem here? The chairman of the company, the CEO, I used to give talks and get paid for it during listing exercise. I said, if you become chairman of a company, ask the old ape who built up the company. Are you there as figurehead? Because in those days, the Maaf ladies, you know who is the real chairman? The GRO lady. He's Laling. You as chairman nak cakap besar. His Laling said, talk to the owner of the company. Laling, give the business to my brother. You jadi chairman, pucat muka. Because we don't enforce what is being put in the listing exercise. We are probably, from my experience, having chaired public listed company, yes, because you go to jail now. But older days, Sabah, who went to jail? I can't really think of many. Because, again, enforcement. So, scroll up. Tak ada ni. Okay. So let's go down. Ada Warren Buffett. By the way, my son pronounced it Buffett. So my wife and I have to send him to English tuition. We went to the hotel. We asked him, what do you want? Everybody want a la carte. The youngest said, I want Buffett, Mom. Warren Buffett said, I believe that's what he said. You know what he means for integrity? You have seen this before. Now, the problem we have today, we don't have genuine leaders preaching integrity and complying with corporate governance. That's the reality. What we are doing, yes, we are doing something, but are we going to be back to square one? Yang tangkap, those with no political connection, masuk board of directors, this time no more laling-laling, I think, but plain frank. Political cronies, we are back, if not to square one, we're just moving about 3 steps. We are not doing the right thing. because, moreover, integrity greatly determines the quality of governance in organization. We know all that. But are we doing it? Now, let's look, as I've spoken, what, two minutes already? You allow me 15, can? So I'm allowed another 13 minutes. Even those who talk for integrity forget the time. Okay. You know what we talk about corporate governance? I'm not being sarcastic here. Corporate governance. Look at that. I didn't say it. Okay, you read it. Nanti orang cakap anak peri. No, I'm serious about it actually. We talk about it. But if you look at the Auditor General's report on one MBB, they have breached. I'm not talking about court case now, just what they mentioned. They have 80 meetings in 5 years. That means 60 meetings and many, many more. Circular resolution. You don't run big corporations by circular resolution. That's a simple common sense. Because when I was chairman of few companies, I used to kick people on the backside for having circular resolution. I said, aren't you competent enough to produce a proper board paper? If you're not competent enough, go opposite direction of heaven. I didn't say go to hell. Right? Go to hell to nakal. Just go opposite direction of heaven. And fire the company secretary, right? If they don't do. Now, why do we need good governance? Good governance and good performance are interrelated. This is based on my interview. Right? I've done quite a lot of interviews because I told you I don't know enough, so I asked people. So, we'll go further. Now, we showed just now what I'm giving in between was some background information on what we want. Now, Popo, nurturing the tree. Okay. We want to nurture the tree that produces fruits. So what do we do here? Corporate governance, however, does not occur in a vacuum. Are we doing the right thing? We are not. I'm willing to say this because MACC said it. Saya ikut saja lah. Saya bukan tahu sangat. Baca aja, dengar cakap. But I'm telling you, we're not really serious. This is what I said in 2001. Corporate governance, however, does not occur in a vacuum. Awareness of its principles and elements is not sufficient. Corporate governance must be embraced by deliberate acts of compliance or adherence to the rule of law and equity, creation of appropriate organizational structure, practice of sound management. I said it with my colleague 18 years ago. By the way, after looking, actually, we are not moving very far ahead. We have talked a lot more. That one I must agree. Now, what do we do now? In the remaining 2.5 minutes, get the right things right. What are the things that we have to do? Get the right people at the top echelon, at least. members, your CEO, your CFO. Kalau dia orang ni jenis yang ngok-ngok bodoh, cara penipu, you're going to die. Dia become chief penipu, katalah. If he has been proven a corrupt guy, do you want to put him as chairman of your company? Mampu ya. Ini I'm not saying about anybody, but we have done it. Those who have been convicted, do find a way right to the top. Itu cari penyakit lah. Kata orang Sarawak, kerja si ada pedah. Tak guna apa punya kerja. Ataupun kerja paroi, kata orang Sarawak, kerja bodoh. You put a guy yang terbukti rasuah, hidup mewah, besar daripada gaji, janganlah kalau boleh. But we do this in Malaysia, you know. Hopefully it stops. Now, get the right people to be the top echelon. There is this, who learns Latin? I didn't. But this phrase was referred to me by the one former Chief Justice. Quis custode, that's it. You all from diplomatic service, whatever. I think those who are posted in Italy or Spain have to learn some Latin. Ipsos custodes. Who will guard the guards? Board of directors yang ngok? Tak boleh lah. Because they be the one. Oh, by the way, it was written about more than 2,000 years ago by Juvenal. So, you want to get a good guards, get good members on the board of directors. Payah mana nak cari yang elok sikit, yang ngok-ngok tak payah. Dulu laling-laling jadi member of the board. Now friend with not proven track record pun ambil. That's where we have gone wrong. Get the integrity practices right. Start with check the background. Reward and punishment. Get the corporate governance right. Get your audit right. Now, this one thing very important. Enforcement. Vital, yet often not executed. We are not good at enforcement in this country. Cakap banyak. This is what Tan Sri Yuen Leg, I know him, but he didn't know me because I shook hands. He was already Chief Police Commissioner Sarawak. I was still a young officer. I know him now. This is what he said. We are a nation of laws and regulations. Very good informed, but poor in enforcement and execution. The truth is, we're a nation of fine feathers, informed but lack in substance. Jangan marah saya. Tan Sri Yuen dah meninggal umur 88. He was a straightforward policeman. We have forgotten one simple thing. At senior management, do we insist on compliance report? You ask your sector head, have you complied with the rule? Do you know what the rules are? By the way, there is a study. 80% of directors of federal statutory bodies said yes, they know the rules. But when they tested, only 40+% actually know. Penyakit. Okay, dah cakap tadi, procurement macam-macam. Rupa-rupanya in procurement, that's where the iblis, the hantu, the shaitan were mustauti. You know why? I don't know why. But it was said by MACC. No less than the future PM, he was ex-PM then. On 31st October, he said, enforcing open tenders for all government acquisitions and contracts. Okay? Are we enforcing it? This is what people said. Okay? This is what, hopefully, according to Abdul Qadir Yassin, we do it right. He said it in when? 2006. You read this book. If you want to borrow, I go to my bookshelf. We're not doing it. Hopefully, of course. He will tell the government, previously he didn't succeed, tell the present government, stop this rubbish about direct nego. Go for open tender. You know why the iblis, the shaitan, and Pak Raswa? Because the power, when you have direct nego, is vested in the hand of the officers, in the hand of politicians. No proper spec, no nothing. Bagi duit, dapat. So the built-in factor of corruption happens because we still behave like some third world country when it comes to government procurement. So, okay, finance, we all know. Audit. This is a country where we don't act on audit. We don't. Why I said this gravely when I was still chairman of SEDC, before Tan Sri Amrin Buang, we were here months ago, dia tanya, YB, apa hal? Audit report after audit report, masalah berulang. Because we don't act on audit. Elsewhere in the developed world, the head of department and the minister having problem pointed by audit, not taking action, head of department hilang kerja, menteri hilang kerja. Buat budaya kita transfer aja. Minister cakap, I don't know, itu menteri ngok. He is accountable for what is going on. Buat kita biar. Pasal dia tu geng saya. Let me tell you a story. Sorry, I take a bit of your time. Sejam ada. Okay. In New Zealand, I'm not expert in New Zealand, but I was lucky to get a scholarship to go to New Zealand for my Form 6 and Form 7. And then continue on. In New Zealand, there is a minister called Hitney. They're given credit card. He spent 80 New Zealand to buy drink for his wife, live-in wife. In New Zealand, halal, duduk berdua-duaan, bersama-samaan. That's okay, that's the system. Akan tetapi haram menggunakan credit card untuk beli untuk your own girlfriend. For 80 New Zealand those days, equivalent to 200 ringgit, he lost his job. Unless we reach that level, carilah menteri-menteri. Ada yang baik lah, bukan semua. Yang tak belajar beribu-ribu untuk girlfriend. Saya ni jealous, tak ada girlfriend. Bukan mereka, pasal dah tua ngerdut ni, tak laku. But we have to be serious. Kalau kita cakap banyak, tak buat, buang masa. Kata orang Sarawak, si ada pedah. Tak guna. Okay. So the question is, I want you to put back the pictures. Pasal, before you think I say all this. Okay, by the way, I didn't say, I conducted a lot of interviews. People say, not me. We have discussion, that's what they say. So what do we want in the end? Which one is better? Yang pokoknya, pohonnya bersih. B, bersih. Bajanya ada, auditnya betul, semua betul. A, yeah, thank you for giving me 1.5 minute. Kalau pohonnya semua, integritinya ada, all the corporate governance factors are looked after, ini hasil. Yang sebelah, sampah sarap, rules are not followed, laling-laling pun ada, plan-plan pun ada. Itu pokok. Daun mati, buah tak ada. So, I want to conclude with an old paper I did, 2013. A high-performing organization is an entity that has the capacity to deliver on its tasks, fulfills its objectives and targets in an efficient and effective manner. In order to become a high-performing entity, its management must be of high quality or standard. Tapi ambil kawan yang muka ngok yang terbukti rasuah, tak erti kerja, itu bukan high standard, itu high bodoh. There are many factors involved in nurturing and creating a high quality management, especially integrity practices and various aspects of corporate governance that must be properly in place, thorough and deeply entrenched. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for paying attention for the last 14.5 minutes, I think. We have a lot more to do. We're doing something. Let's hope we succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, having said, after listening to Datuk just now, it is very clear that integrity and governance, they are inseparable. Integrity and anti-corruption, they are also inseparable. But for how long are we going to talk about this? So the question is how and where to start. So this is where most people would agree with me that if we talk about integrity and governance, we always say it starts from the top. But don't at the top alone, is it enough? Is it enough? So, what we in IIM, with the change of the new mandate to IIM by GIACC, is that we come up with a lot of tools and techniques. And also we embed some technologies. Artificial intelligence technologies, you can use blockchain, you can use all kinds of technologies in order to embed integrity in the organization. This is not impossible. And Having said that, I have this book given to me by MICG, Malaysian Corporate Governance Institute, and they have conducted a study of for 100 public listed companies, the top 100 companies, and quite sad to say that only 37 out of the 100 companies disclose a policy on gifts, hospitality and expenses. Okay, this is the top 100 public listed companies. Okay, and only 18 out of 100 disclose prohibition of political contributions. Only 18 out of 100. Okay, only 12 disclose that the anti-corruption program applies to non-controlled persons or entities that provide goods or services under contract. Okay, only 3 disclose regular monitoring of the anti-corruption program. These are the study conducted quite recently. And one more thing, only 2 out of 100 disclose an anti-corruption training program for both employees and directors. So, what are we going to do about this? In IIM, we alone, in IIM, we only have 25 officers. And with the mandate to build the capacity of the public and private sector with these 25 officers is quite impossible. It's quite impossible. So that is why what we intend to do is we are going to develop and identify as many subject matter experts in integrity. And inshallah, we are going to register them and we're going to give them continuous training. And the subject matter experts can be in your organization, and these people can run whatever trainings and initiatives in your organization. That's the only way, because I am alone, we cannot do it. Even SPRM also don't have enough officers to be doing the education and trainings. Another thing that if you look outside, we have a lot of instruments that can be utilized by the organizations in order to improve the level of integrity and governance in the organization. And I have this thought that maybe we have currently halal mark for halal products and so on. Why not we have an integrity mark? So maybe we can come up with an integrity marks, that is one. Or maybe we can do some kind of, what do you call it, penarafan. Penarafan, that means we give a rating, something like that, to organizations, okay, with regards to its integrity, governance, and anti-corruption. This can be done very easily if we use and utilize the current technology. Like, as I said just now, the AI, the blockchain, Internet of Things, and so on and so forth. It's not impossible. So these are among the initiatives in IM that we are going to do, inshallah. Yeah? And hopefully with this, we can assist the organizations in Malaysia to raise the level, the standard of integrity and governance in your organization.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I do need the rostrum because when you're shaking, you hold on to the rostrum instead. You don't see me shaking at all. The shaking is because big questions. How to answer? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a CIO with Petronas. When I came in first in Petronas in last year, in April, I looked at Petronas and I found out that they have started the journey of integrity for so long. You could imagine that it started in 1987 by the late Tun Azizan. They come up with a shared value, the 5 shared value that every Petronas officers must know: cohesiveness, loyalty, professionalism, and integrity. These are the shared value that every Petronas employee have to know and remember. And do Petronas have an issue on integrity? Oh yes, we do. We continue getting it. The main reason why integrity is a big problem. It's more about the systems. It's more about the human. I always tell the integrity staff, or Petronas staff, last year I have a slogan, well, it's not mine, I just copied from somebody. I think it was Goldberg or somebody was saying this. Integrity is about doing the right thing every time, even when no one is looking at you. And I keep telling to all the employees, that's important for an organization to look and see. One part of it about integrity is that you must have the value in the company. You must put in the value. Petronas come out with a shared value for everybody. And the value must be there. Once we started it, then you have to continue telling people. Otherwise, if you not do it, then it will not be there. You see, when you want to change an organization, you must make sure that you change the people inside there. You can have the perfect systems and procedure, but the people will always look around and see how they can beat that. So we have to have a value of moral, a good and high integrity value. And that is what Petronas have been doing. Keep on doing every year, we keep on putting that. Alright, we have the culture, we make sure the culture is in. You want to talk about systems and procedure, Petronas have most of it. Petronas have Petronas integrity compliant framework on how the integrity should be done. Petronas have the gift policy. Petronas have whistleblower policy. Petronas put in MACC officer inside the organization. Keep on doing things and making sure that we do it. Alright, and at this present moment, Petronas is embarking toward putting all in their organization anti-bribery management system. Petronas is one of the company in Malaysia that certified anti-bribery management system under ISO. We done in 2017. We have now coming up with 5 more. And we are going to go through for the international asset all over the world. We have Kobe, Code of Business Ethics, and also on their employee. We are embarking to make sure that every company of Petronas everywhere in the world will have to hold on to that. We've done everything. But is there an issue? There is. Because it's human. And we cannot surrender ourselves or give up ourselves in fighting for whatever we believe. Because integrity have always to work together. As for me, personally, I believe this. If you want to call a new country, you must change the value first. Then you can start talking about it. If the people still thinking the same way as what there is 60 years ago, you will never change it. So for an organization, if you are new, start with a good steps towards it. Don't embark toward anything that is wrong, because while you hold it, it becomes a culture inside. Then it's hard for you to change later on. Petronas is very lucky. We have that since 1987. Now, even any employee of Petronas who did anything non-compliant, they cannot give an excuse or they do not know any of it. Right? So, and we have even go towards our vendor. We persuade our vendor to work according to our shared value. We train them, we call in them, we ask them, what do you have a problem? You want to make a bank loan? We have an arrangement. We talk to all the banks. Let's work together. Why? Because we're going to build a nation, and Petronas is part of that nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about integrity, let's ask ourselves the first question: are we really in it or not? Or is this just something that you like to market because it's giving you very good profit? Sign the corporate integrity pledge, put on the wall as high as you can, and whenever everybody came in and said, oh, I signed my CIP, 200 over companies signed the CIP, and half of them have issues on corporate liabilities. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have much to say because Datuk have given everything. So I have to stand here because you can see me shaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yang Mubarak, Datuk. Right, I guess right now, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the moment that you probably are waiting for, the question and answer session. So we're going to have a few minutes for you to ask questions. We have 3 mics in the middle of the ballroom. If you have any questions, you can move forward, you can stand forward to the microphone, and please state your name, and if possible, you can also state which or who you would like to address the question to. So any questions?
Hi, good morning panelists. My name is Ishwari. I'm a journalist with Malay Mail. I thought since no one's asking, then I should just use the opportunity anyway. So my question is for Puan Afiza. You raised an interesting point about coming up with an integrity mark, similar to the halal mark. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but as we know it currently, there are quite a number of issues with the halal logo. Some are even questioning as to if it's being used appropriately for businesses. So what sort of mechanism are we going to have in place if we are going to come up with an integrity mark? Who is going to be the gatekeeper in qualifying which company or which businesses or which entities are being, credible or have integrity in their businesses? And like what Tan Sri Abu Qasim raised earlier, who is then going to monitor this entity that's issuing this integrity mark? So that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is something that we just thought about it, because to push organizations to implement the initiatives and programs is quite difficult. It's still at a very early stage. Next 2 days I will be sitting down with Tan Sri Abu Qasim to discuss further on this. But your question with regards to who's gonna monitor and so on and so forth. Okay. Actually, I'm coming from SIRIM. I have 29 years experience with SIRIM. SIRIM has its quality mark. Okay, so maybe my example is not so good lah. Maybe I should say SIRIM mark of quality. Okay, so SIRIM mark of quality, they follow international standards. There's an international standards. This is what we call standards on conformity assessment. So when you want to come up with whatever mark, you cannot just simply, this is our mark, whether you want it or you don't want it. It's not as easy as that. SIRIM come out with this quality mark, SIRIM mark, a long time ago, I think back in 1980s, back in 1980s. And we strictly follow international standards on conformity assessment. So there's an international standards that we have to follow. And on top of that, there's another one that we intend to do. Just now I talked about the registration of the subject matter experts, right? Okay, this is what we call in conformity assessment at an international level. They call it personal certification, personnel certification, and that's an international standards, ISO standards. If you want to do this personal certification, you have to follow these international standards. So there will not be any questions whatsoever if you follow step by step these international standards. I'm quite sure of that, because SIRIM is also now doing personnel certification, but it's not for integrity. It's for personnel who's going to work in explosive environments and so on and so forth. Yeah. That's why just now I mentioned we have to use the tools, the techniques, the standards, international standards, or if there is no international standards, we have to use national standards available before we come up with any programs or what you call it, initiatives. Because otherwise, kita jadi macam shock sendiri lah. Okay?
Okay, let's give a round of applause for our panelists here.